All right, thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Corruption concerns about art sales, Karine. Can you take a question on that?
For the briefing, McCarthy said, all I'm saying is we go where the truth is, you have to get to the bottom of the truth, and there's only one way Congress can do that with an impeachment inquiry. What's the White House's reaction to that idea, that the sentiment that this is the only option for Republicans?
That's for Republicans to decide. I'm not going to weigh in on what they may or may not do or how House Republicans want to move forward. I'm just not going to get into hypotheticals. I'm not going to get into the head of House Republicans. That is for them to answer.
Does President Biden believe that systemic racism is a prevalent or defining feature of American life today?
When the president walked into this administration, and I've said this many times before at this podium, he talked about 4 crises that this country was facing. One of them was the climate change crisis. He talked about the economy. Wages are up, inflation is coming down, it's easing, and we have talked about Bidenomics. And last but not least, obviously, he talked about the racial injustices that we're seeing. And as I'm talking about all these different crises, everything at the center of the policies that the president has put forth has equity at the center of it, so that we do not leave anybody behind.
So I understand correctly, is what you just said synonymous with saying that the president believes we are still a racist country?
What the president believes is that we have to deal with racial injustices in this country, that we have to deal with it in a real way, that we have to create a situation where, and he does this with his policy, that there's equity at the center of everything.
The first focused on U.S.-Israel relations, the second on the Emmett Till event, and then you'll be directed to a short survey to gauge your level of satisfaction with this experience. Whenever you or
that would be new.
Invariably, you pivot to discussing the broader bilateral relationship. Invariably, you reaffirm the ironclad commitment to Israeli security, for example. Quite in contrast with the fulsome terms in which White House officials are willing to discuss the president's relationships with other world leaders, such as Rishi Sunak or Emmanuel Macron. All you seem willing to say about President Biden's relationship with Mr. Netanyahu is that the two men have known each other a long time and that they speak candidly to each other. My question is this: does President Biden trust Prime Minister Netanyahu?
Look, what I can tell you again, as you just stated, they have a long-standing relationship. They speak candidly with each other. They just spoke last week with each other and had a fulsome conversation. I'm not going to get into specifics about their relationships. I just laid out how long they've known each other. And again, they have a candid conversation to discuss their shared interest as well their concerns, and that will continue.
The record will reflect that you are unwilling to say that the president trusts Prime Minister Netanyahu.